So Siemens has been operating in Australia for about 145 years, so we've been here a long time. We're across many industries, but mining is very special to Australia and special to Siemens because of that. In terms of our offerings, we're really across the automation, electrification and digitalisation spaces. So we really do have offerings across those full range of areas. In mining in particular, yes, we're in power generation, so a lot of the power generated in Australia is coming from Siemens equipment and Siemens made equipment. We're strong in mining, particularly around some of the bulk materials handling applications as well as milling and grinding, so key areas there. And with the changing landscape, we see digitalisation as a major driver in the industry, not just in mining, of course, but across all the industries in Australia. Siemens has been heavily involved in Industry 4.0 from a German perspective, and we're trying to use the experiences that we've had there and how they can be applied to mining in particular and across the broader industry. So we don't think that there is a lot of capital required in terms of doing good digitalisation projects. There's actually relatively simple projects that can be done for fairly low investment from the mining companies, and we think at the moment that having some of these quick wins is a really good way to start a digitalisation path. Digitalisation, of course, is a pathway. It's not, oh well, here's a magic wand and now you're digitalised. It's actually a longer term strategy and a longer term play. But of course, there are nerves around being the first adopters and the first ones to do a project. So we really think that there are some quick wins to be had around preventative and predictive maintenance, particularly in the mining industry. Reducing downtime is obviously a critical factor in productivity. So we think that there are quick wins around those areas. Also, being able to study a value chain and understand where the major investment points are in the value chain and where the major costs are, and identifying ways to, specifically target those areas and, provide real returns for the mining companies in a meaningful way as soon as possible. Yes, you're right. So we are across a number of industries in Australia: oil and gas, mining, manufacturing, defence, all of these main areas. The challenges faced by all of them are relatively similar, but diverse. It's not to say that they're exactly the same, because there are, of course, nuances in all those areas. But when you look at digitalisation, it's really a program and a pathway. So one of the things that we've been doing a lot of is investing in universities, and we've actually developed an apprenticeship scheme around training a workforce for the future. And we think that the skills that those people learn now is also transferable, because you can be working on a digitalisation project, specifically in mining, but the skills that you learn around mindset and understanding how the data flows and how it can be interpreted can be applied across multiple industries. So we really see that it's got some ways of transference across multiple industries, and we think that this is one of the ways to go. But skills development is a really fundamental area, and that's why we've been investing a lot of money into the universities and the TAFEs in terms of preparing a workforce for the future. It's a great question. Renewables is a challenge that we're all facing across the full, not just in mining, but across the full grid system in Australia. A particularly interesting area for us, and we feel well qualified to look at it. We do see that there will be more renewables in the mainstream grid, but we also see that distributed energy systems are a mega trend, and mining is absolutely well positioned to take advantage of these distributed energy systems, specifically on mine sites. There are a lot of key factors, so how you generate the energy, whether it's solar, wind or other alternative renewable technologies. Storage of energy is really interesting, so of course we're involved in batteries, but one of the areas that Siemens has also been strongly promoting is around hydrogen as a storage medium. And this is some of the areas that you can really look at mining as as an early adopter, potentially for some of these other storage technologies. Because of course on a mine site you're generally running 24 hours, 7 days a week, and renewables are intermittent by their very nature. So storage and being able to extend that renewable capability is a really critical issue for miners. But it's one that they really need to adopt and face up to, because not only are there cost advantages in renewable energy, but we also see social license and some of those issues becoming much more relevant in the society, and we think that renewable energy is absolutely a strong way to go. Of course, Siemens did do the last coal-fired power station in Australia almost 10 years ago. So we're happy to be involved in those high-efficiency coal-fired power station opportunities, but we really think renewables is the way the market is driving, and mining is very well positioned to take advantage of that from an economic and a social licence perspective. I must admit we've been really impressed with IMARC in particular this year. There's a lot more people attending, and a lot more high quality people, not just people coming in and trying to grab a stubby holder and what have you, but we've really seen a fantastic opportunity to engage with our customers and meet new ones. So the networking aspect of IMARC has been terrific, and yeah, so far we've been really impressed with the quality of the speeches and the speakers, and also the networking opportunities that a show like this provides.